else in here?
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is I, Freaky Skull. Welcome to Squeaky Chair. Thanks. Welcome you to a Fallout 4 video on melee combat. Today we will be discussing the basics and the effects of first and third person on melee combat. As you all, or at least most of you know, there are special execution moves that can be done in melee combat in both first and third person. In first person, you'll find yourself performing maybe one or two execution moves. The way you perform this is simply by facing your opponent and spamming the power attack button. You can do this in third person too. We'll get to that. Now, when in first person, there are several moves that you do not get. These moves being the non-lethal animations, such as, tripping your opponent or just throwing them onto the ground, pushing them away. There are things like that. Some of you may not have noticed. It took me a good, I'd say, month to learn that those even existed. After seeing the NPCs do them, I didn't know I could. Anyway, because they are third person only, and in Fallout 4, which is a game where the gunplay has been played up more than any other Fallout game, people are playing first person more than ever, including me. So, I found myself completely missing out on these. And I honestly feel that is poor game design to block off an entire, several layers of melee combat in a game because they're not playing in the perspective you want them to. And it wouldn't be particularly hard to make them work in first person at all, really. Anyway, moving on to third person. When in third person, you gain the extra execution moves, the non-lethal animations such as the pushing or tripping, and you gain follow-through attacks. When in first person, you do pretty much a two-swing repeating attack animation that is the same speed no matter what. But in third person, you perform follow-through attacks, where if you maybe press back while you're doing it, or sideways, or even if you just do enough attacks in rapid succession, you'll actually use the momentum and follow through, doing another attack animation much faster. This isn't quite noticeable with medium or fast weapons such as Pikmin's Blade, Krem's Tooth, but with things such as the Super Sledge baseball bat, or even the regular sledgehammer, you'll notice it much more because your wait time between attacks has been pretty much halved, and that can make or break a melee build. And I'm still very salty about the fact that, no fucking follow-throughs or extra special animations for people in first person. And let's face it, we don't all want to play in third person. The camera can be a bit janky and questionable at times. You can't fine-tune things. You miss a lot of locked containers and things like that. And switching between first and third person in mid-combat can be a pain, especially in Fallout 4, where the camera switching can sometimes be delayed by lag. This affects console users as well as people who have less than highest quality computers. So, what is my belief that could fix this? Well, Bethesda has forsaken Fallout 4 in record time. So, we're going to have to look to the modding community, and I've scoured the internet as best I can, and have found nothing. There are no immersive first-person mods that would actually cause this, because it forces you into third person with the camera forced on the character's head, which would give you the animations. And there is no mod specifically meant to give the animations. I'm actually truly amazed by this, given that with Skyrim, the Joy of Perspective and other immersive first-person mods popped up in the first couple of months. And it's been quite a few months. All of the DLCs are done. As you can see, I'm using Nuka World in this footage. Well, Nuka World gear, at least, in this footage alone, while I clear out Dunwich Boars. Thank you again, Squeaky Chair. Do I believe this breaks melee combat or makes it unplayable? No, not at all. It's still a very fun and interesting set of mechanics. It actually is better than any of the other Fallout games that I've played before because they took the page from Skyrim with the cinematic finishers, and they also made them balanced by making it where it only really works if your opponent's at their last 20% of HP. In most cases, they're dead already, as well as it only working on human or ghoul actors, I guess is what they would call it in the game files. Now, it does not work on feral ghouls, and unlike Skyrim, you can't use it on dogs or spiders or anything of that nature, which I'm moderately disappointed given that they proved that they could do it, but Fallout 4 was very rushed. They said they'd been working on it since before Skyrim, but that was obviously a lie. It was more likely that they started making a few of the resources, let it go for a couple of years, and then picked it back up at the last minute. Same with these DLCs. They're very quickly tossed together, not very good voice actor coverage, not very much support between the vanilla game and the DLCs. They're very much like mods in that way. And that's pretty much all the thoughts I have on it, so I'm just going to leave you with the rest of the melee combat clips.